you know, like I've been informing, trying to get us to know about our lessons, the TikTok tutorials, actually. So our plan is to, thoroughly, certify students or any caliber of person into academics, enroll you into quality education. As we've seen in the world of today, this country currently now does not value people that doesn't have intellect. So that's why we institute this platform to help people of your kind. So it's a privilege. Thank you so much as you listen. So we are going to mathematics, common understanding in math. Some things we should know in math. There's this thing called whole number. Whole number. Now when you talk about a whole number is an integer. A whole number is an integer. An integer. When you hear that a whole number is an integer, you will be sure. An integer? Yes, it's an integer. Now, the question there is now, what is an integer? An integer, integer is a number which possesses the positive, that cannot possess a positive or a negative sign. For example, let me say 2 is a positive integer. Why did I call it a positive integer? Because it does not have any negative sign before it. But if we have something like -2, it is a negative integer. So therefore I bring it in summary that a whole number is an integer, because an integer is a number that can be positive or negative. 2 is a whole number. This is a whole number, and this is also a whole number. But the difference is clear. This 2 is not the same with this, because this is a positive 2, while this is a negative 2. How do we know numbers that are positive? Numbers that are natural, like not having anything attached to it, are positive numbers. While negative numbers are numbers that are attached before it a minus sign. That's how you know your negative number. So you can call this a whole number. I hope you follow me. So let's go to, don't mind my blackboard. As time goes on, we'll get it done. We use our whiteboard marker. Don't mind. So an integer can be a positive or a negative number. So we have come to know about a whole number. It's an integer which can be a positive or a negative number. You can also say that a whole number is a natural number. Like when you say 2, 3, 4, 5, all these things are what? Are all whole numbers, because they are natural numbers. So it can be called a whole number. But let's continue with something here. We want to look at some of the components. Of a whole number, because there are sometimes in mathematics we usually get confused about some of these things, but these are primary things we should know in maths. Now that a whole number has components. For example, we will go with this. If I don't know why I derived of using 2, but let's just keep using 2, not because it is only in 2. We have these things I'm about doing now, but in other numbers. But I just want to consider 2 here. Now looking at 2, this is a positive number. This is a whole number. Now we want to go into the components of a whole number. Don't mind, we will not be going to details in wording some of this explanation, but just by what you hear, listen, and you will grab something. So like this is a whole number now. A whole number can be said to be a positive number or a negative number. Now, look at this. A whole number can have a plus sign, because if you press in your calculator 2 plus 2, will definitely give you 4. But if you say plus 2 plus 2, is it going to give you what? 4. Why is the answer not different? Because plus 2 does not affect the value of 2. Neither does it change anything. But what is just showing you that the 2 is positive is the same thing as saying 2. You can try it with your calculator. Plus 2 is equal to 4. It does not change. So that is it. So you can say that a whole number can have a positive sign before it. you may be asking, are these things visible or invisible, that sometimes you write the number without seeing these things? We can call it the invisible components of a whole number, but sometimes you can make it visible when required. So that is it. So it can have a positive sign before it. It can have also the denominator of 1. Every whole number has a denominator of 1. Because when I say, even if you press it on your calculator, because 2 over 1 is the same thing as saying 2 divided by 1. So 2 divided by 1 will definitely give you 2. So even if I say 2 all over 1 plus 2 will still give me what? 2 will still give me 4. Why? Because 2 all over 1 is 2 divided by 1, which is the same thing as saying 2 plus 2. If you press it in your calculator that 2 divided 1, it will give you 2. So that is it. So every whole number has a denominator of 1. So let's go again. And also every whole number has the decimal of 0. You can say that 2.0 is equal to 2, because this decimal, the numbers after the decimal are showing numbers less than 0. When you have 2.0, that means this 0 is nothing, so it's still saying 2. So 2.0 can still definitely give you 2. Even if you press it with your calculator, 2.0 plus 2 is definitely going to give you 4. That is it. So a whole number can have a decimal of 0, like saying 2.0. Thank you. We go further. We can still say every whole number has a multiple of 1. Now, 2 times 1 will give us what? 1. 2 times 1, sorry, will give us 2. So even when you have 2 times 1 plus 2, the answer is still going to be what? 4. Because 2 times 1 is going to give you 2, and if you add it with it, it will be 4. So we are just showing you the possibilities or the components that a whole number has. Thank you. That it has times 1 before it. So we can still say that a whole number is to the first power. A whole number is to the first power, or you can just say a whole number can be raised to the power of 1. Because if I bring down this 2 and say 2 raised to the power of 1, is the same thing as saying 2 times 1, which is still 2. So if you have 2 raised to the power of 1 is equal to 2. So that is it. So for now, we'll be calling it a day. But though I will still return to this subject, so I'll provide a detailed lesson on this whole number. I believe you learned something today. Thank you so much. And remember that this is the Victor Tutorials lesson. Have a nice day. Bye.